I feel like the entire Gen Z culture has shaped into this more easy, fun loving kind of experience based dating life.
I also feel like a lot of people are very good at texting, but when you meet them in person, they're just not as interesting.
In simple way, if I had to say it, y'all are exclusively hooking up, you know?
No, but
That's what I'm saying. There's no one right definition.
Okay.
it's just frustrating. That's what it is, Evelyn. It's just frustrating.
I guess it's complicated.
It's simple.
yeah.
Yeah.
Situationship. I've been wondering lately, are the days of meeting a potential date or partner at that friend's house party or at your cousin's Sangeet dancing to Batami still gone? Have they been lost to swiping, super liking, and texting? Today we're asking Gen Z if the good old meet cute still exists, or if online dating has taken over their lives. And of course, what else this generation looks for in love. Let's find out together in today's episode. Hi, I'm Evelyn Sharma, and this is Love Matters, a podcast about relationship topics that matter to you and me, produced by Indian Express and DW, Germany's international broadcaster.
Love matters. Love matters. Love matters. Love matters with Evelyn Sharma.
Hey guys, it's so good to be back with Love Matters after taking almost, has it been a year's break? And what a year it's been. I've welcomed my sweet baby daughter Ava Rania into this world and watched her grow. We've been learning about life together and have been spending lots of time in the garden. We mostly eat, play, sleep, repeat. And my Aussie accent has probably gotten thicker too. What you think, mate? This year also gave us the chance to celebrate the success of the first season of Love Matters. Reaching the #1 spot in the Apple Podcast India charts for society and culture podcasts last year was just one highlight to be mentioned. And of course, it gave us time to consider all your valuable feedback and line up interesting topics for our now bi-weekly podcast. So keep shooting over your emails to lovematters@dw.com. We'd love to hear from you. Enough of me blabbering away. Let's get into the first episode. And to help us find out what dating is like for India's Generation Z, we have two fabulous young guests on the show today, Kareema Berry and Agasthya Shah. I've seen all your awesome content online, guys, and I'm so excited to welcome you on this special podcast episode today. Hello.
Hi.
Hi guys.
Thanks for having
Thank you
us.
so much. I'm so happy to be here.
It's our pleasure. Well, right. So, everyone, if you're still not sure what the Gen Z is, it's roughly defined as those born between 1997 and 2012. So, that's today's 10 to 25-year-olds. And Kareema and Agasthya fit right in. Can you officially confirm that you are real Gen Zers?
Yes, I'm 20, so I think I'm right at the correct spot of being a Gen Z right now.
What is the incorrect spot, Agasthya? I'm 23.
I don't want to say it.
You're 23, so you're on the, I'm a millennial, but I think they call me an elder millennial because I'm born in 86, so I'm 36 this year. And maybe you're an elder Gen Zer.
Yes, I am that. Factually,
On the
I am.
cusp,
Yes.
maybe.
Factually, you
On
are.
the cusp, as they
Of
say.
course.
I mean, you guys don't really need a big introduction, but just for everyone who doesn't know Agasthya Shah and Kareema Berry, you guys need to look them up online because they make amazing content. Yeah, I love Agasthya that you make this really casual, relevant content, and Kareema, you use really, almost touchy topics sometimes and you make them lighthearted. And I love that. I think that's also something that Gen Z is really good at, talking about things, not brushing it under the carpet like we learned how to do it. Don't talk about your feelings, but I feel like, you name it, Gen Z will get up and fight for it. But on the other hand, I also love that there are people like you who made talking about a lot of things very easy with your humor, with your realness. And guys, check them out if you haven't yet.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
It's true. You guys, let's dive right into the juicy bits. What do you guys think makes Gen Z different from the other generations when it comes to dating? Tell mama, because I have been out of the dating life for a couple of years now. I've got married, to who I would say is my best friend. And I've got a beautiful baby daughter, and I've just got a different chapter in my life now. So tell me, what's happening out in the real world that I don't hear about anymore?
I think it's different in the sense. So my sister is a millennial, and I've seen like growing up. I've like my first idea of romance was through her. You know, her going out with people and what she thought of love and romance. So I think I've seen it very closely, the difference that I'm experiencing, which I think is just that I think it's a lot more free in the sense that there's not that much pressure on finding the one very early on in life. And also, I think we see relationships in a way where they, even if they end, I think it's easier for us to see them as experiences of learning than it was for, say, someone from the previous generation. Because, like, it felt like the end of the world before. And even though it does feel like that, and the intensity of love is not that it's different, it's just that I think we see love as something that's as intimate as friendships can be. And I don't think we gatekeep the idea of intimacy to just dating. So that way it's nice. I think it's more exploring and more feeling and more thinking. It's fun. Yeah.
I feel like dating has not become, I think it's transitioned from being this huge, thing that, oh my God, you're dating someone, to, just being more casual. That, okay, you're seeing somebody, let's hope it's not, something that's making you feel miserable in your life and something that you actually like being in.
Exactly.
I feel like that is something that every Gen Z person is much more conscious about. That the fact that, okay, this relationship it has to be something that you're happy in. It should never be at a point where you're feeling drained in it, for example. So I feel like the entire Gen Z culture has shaped into this more easy, fun loving kind of experience based dating life, instead of it being so rigid, and instead of thinking about always that, oh, I cannot break up because people will think this, that. I feel like people have just stopped caring, quite honestly.
Yeah, I can see where our generation still felt like, a relationship that's over is a failed relationship. But what I'm hearing from you is that a relationship that's over can also be a completed, chapter in your life. And then you kind of grow from there to your next one, which is very interesting point of view. So both of you are online a lot of the time. Is that also the case when it comes to love? How do you guys feel about dating apps?
So personally, I have not been on any dating app. I've just never liked dating apps. I just feel like if I see a girl and I like her, then I would like if I can just go and talk to her firsthand instead of going through, the entire texting first process. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like meeting somebody in person first and then texting is more my thing, what I would like more to really know if I like a person, rather texting them for 2 weeks, then meeting them and realizing, hey, I don't like you. you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like I've just never liked the concept of dating apps for myself because of that reason.
But I also feel like a lot of people are very good at texting, but when you meet them in person, they're just not as interesting. Like, I don't know how to say it. But yeah.
I'm a total nightmare when it comes to texting. I would
Same.
probably never text back, and then, my relationship would be over. And I wouldn't even know
I'm so
about
bad
it.
at it. Yeah.
Even though I did have to have circumstances. I had a long distance relationship with my now husband for a good year almost before we, thanks to COVID, moved in together. And
Oh,
then
how cute.
that took it to the next level real quick. But yeah, now we have a baby and I'm married. So
That escalated.
it escalated. Pretty quick.
Surely.
But for the good, for the good. So, okay, now we're going to hear some fun facts about Gen Z and dating in India. Some food for thought.
Love matters.
In 2021, MTV Youth India surveyed 26,000 young people between the ages of 15 and 25 in 50 different Indian cities. They found that Gen Z's belief in true love is on the decline. 1 out of every 2 respondents said they flirted with someone else that wasn't their boyfriend or girlfriend during the lockdown. 25% said they don't believe in marriage, and that was up from 10% in 2019. 13% of those surveyed said that they are in a committed relationship, and that was down from 26% in 2019 and 35% in 2016.
I think that's pretty significant, that change. You know, say, for example, the 13% shared that they are in a committed relationship. Just 13%, which in 2016 was still 35%. That's a huge change. So I guess commitment is something that I would like to know more about. How do you guys feel about commitment?
I definitely feel like with the type of person I am, that I get into a relationship with the thought of definitely this person being in my life for a while. I don't know why. I just feel like I'm a more committed, a relationship kind of driven person. So I feel like whenever I get into a relationship, I obviously it never starts from thinking like that, but it's never that okay, I just want to be with you for this much, or I'm shut off to seeing a future or something like that. Sometimes it might work out, sometimes it might not work out, right? But I feel like if you get into a relationship with that mentality that oh, this might not work out, then I kind of don't think it makes sense being in that relationship if you've gotten in from that mentality.
So I am quite if I'm getting into a relationship, then it's for forever. Otherwise, I will not get into it. But I also feel like I've only been in one serious relationship so far. So I feel like I disagree with Agastya on the idea of it is not commitment then if you do see an end though, because since that relationship ended, I feel like I have seen commitment a little bit differently, in the sense that even just seeing each other and not being in the R tag of relationship, even that can involve some level of commitment. Like it can involve how present you are for that person, how healthy that dynamic is, how responsible you are with plans, how you treat that person, the way that you explore whatever you're seeing with each other. I think even if at the end of the day this is not some passionate, grand, marriageable romance, even then it can be something that you're committed to in some ways, committed to how healthy it is and how lovely it can be sometimes. But yeah, marriage also I feel like is important. I don't know if it's the wedding that's more important, but I do think at someday I would want to get married. I don't know if it's because of the logistical convenience of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do see it as something I would want to do.
Okay. Interesting. How about you, Agastya? Did you say you wanted to get married?
Oh, definitely. I definitely want to get married. I want to have a family of my own. That's something that I look forward to, at some point in my life. But I feel like I've just all because of the way I grew up, seeing how tight my family is, how, there's just like a, mutual sense of understanding between all of us, just making each other happy, making each other best person possible. That environment that I've grown up in, I feel like that has been a huge driving factor between me not looking at marriage from a negative standpoint, which some of my friends do have. So I feel like it's depends from person to person, also depending on the way the environment that you've grown up in. But personally, I feel like it's definitely a very important thing for me in the future.
Interesting. Well, my generation had three status of relationship. I think Facebook gave us the third one. It was in a relationship, not in a relationship, or it's complicated. that's like the 3 relationship status that you had. Now with Gen Z, I feel like there's so many different styles of relationships. I can't keep up. And
Same.
there's a word also for everything. Like, for example, situationships.
I am a master of them.
Is it a fling?
No, I think situationship is when you're not dating, but you're also not just being super casual. So there is this aspect of like some feelings, but not passionate or intense or enough for you to be maybe say monogamous or call each other boyfriend or girlfriend or your partner. And it's kind of this in between confusing, frustrating situation. Therefore, we call it that.
Situationship. Interesting.
I so feel like there is no one definition of a situationship. Because what Kareema said was, I agreed with everything she said except the point where, it's like you might see other people when you're in a situationship. But what I have thought situationships are is that y'all are, in simple way, if I had to say it, y'all are exclusively hooking up, only with.
No, but
That's what I'm saying. There's no one right definition.
Okay.
yeah, it's just frustrating. That's what it is. It's just frustrating.
I guess it's complicated.
It's simple way. Yeah.
That's so funny. Let's hear a couple more fun facts. Here's some more food for thought.
Love matters.
According to research from global dating app giant Tinder in 2019, most young Indians aged between 18 and 25 say that being myself is their top priority over the next 5 years. The report noted that Gen Z respondents want to experiment with different careers, different relationships, ways of self-expression, their identities, and the direction they want to take their life in. For them, that means prioritizing finding a career in a field they're passionate about and preferring to date as a way to learn more about themselves.
Wow. What do you guys think about that? Do you date to find out more about yourself?
Actually, somebody told me this as advice once. She just sat me down and she was like, date. Date as much as you can because that's how you're going to find out what you don't want. I do agree. I mean, I think there are so many things that I realized about myself from my previous relationship, things that are awful about myself also. I mean, things that I learned that are triggers for me or things that I'm good at, like, or things that I love to do, things that I think are red flags or things that are gray areas for me, things that are important to me. So yeah, definitely. And also it's so fun to just meet somebody in that setting, right? Like, I mean, when you go on a date, I feel like you're so much more vulnerable, so much more open, and you get to know that person so much faster than you would have if you were just like hanging out. And that's always nice. I like meeting people anyway. So that energy exchange that happens, I think you just learn so much about yourself also.
I think arguably for Gen Z, that's the number one thing in a relationship. If I can't be myself in a relationship, then what type of partner or what type of relationship is it, And obviously, it's not always going to be that easy, right? Because it's two different energies matching and, arguments are bound to happen. But I feel like hearing out your partner and understanding their perspective and then also at the same time voicing your own perspective is how it should kind of work.
Yeah. In my generation, we were still preached to by our parents that compromise is the main thing in a relationship. I always said like there are my negotiables and my non-negotiables when I go into a relationship. And I think you shouldn't have more than 3 non-negotiables. But what are these for you?
So I would say a non-negotiable for me would be spending at least, if both of us are working at this point, having one date night together where we, just spend time with each other, no phones, no nothing, just us going out for dinner, or maybe going on a drive after that, where we can just connect. I would say that's a non-negotiable for me. Another non-negotiable for me would be, what happens in some relationships is because of, certain things that another person has felt in their past relationships, they tend to shape you being that person that they were with as that same person. And I feel like that's important. Obviously, they don't do it intentionally, right? But being open to criticism and being open to improving is a non-negotiable for me. Otherwise, it's like I would be in a relationship with you only if I knew that, you could learn, adapt, and grow with me, and not just remain stagnant.
That's so good. Yeah. I think that's so funny that you said that because, when my husband and I were on our blind date, we both fell in love with each other and we knew that we could give this a go because we both saw in each other that we are open to growing and that we want to grow together. And I think for me, that is one of, the only things that really matter when you go into a relationship, that you want to grow together, because the only constant in life is change and you're going to change. And I think it's so cool to see that your generation, has this so deeply ingrained in them and that they're looking for this in their partners, because that shows that the next generation is going to make a big change in this world. So, where do you get your guidance? Where do you learn about communication and relationship dynamics? What's healthy and what's not?
Therapy. So much, so much therapy. My God.
I love it. You guys are so open to all types of learning.
100%.
I love it.
Yeah. YouTube as well, no. Like I've watched a lot of relationship YouTubers growing up. Like pop culture, I've observed relationships in that. And on the internet, you get to see so many other things that you don't normally see in real life. So yeah.
I agree. I think also, a big learning in the recent years, especially definitely like when I was maybe 5, 6 years younger, I would watch YouTube videos and, learn about relationships. But I feel like recently a more mature and a more current perspective I get through a lot of Instagram pages. It might not be the most reliable source, I get it, but you have to take it with a pinch of salt. But I feel like it definitely helps set perspective. Like pages like We're Not Really Strangers, or there are a bunch of other famous pages which are known to kind of, you know, help or just give you small bits about posts, or like writing text on and just posting that kind of just make you, it hits you, that hey, okay, this is a valid point, this is something that maybe I can improve in myself in a relationship.
That's so cool. Yeah. You get an inspirational quote about relationships and it makes you think, and then you do the rest of the work. You do the pondering, the introspecting, and you find the answer for yourself. Yeah, I mean, we had magazines and we had,
Chicken soup
chicken soup.
and Mills and Boone.
Yeah, well, we kind of like just had to believe what someone tells us. Wasn't much research to do. But then, of course, I'm an elder millennial. So, guys, what do you think older people don't understand about 20-year-olds and dating?
I think love can be fun, it can be easy, it can be intense all at the same time. And I think even they thought that their love was the grandest form of love. And, I mean, their letters was our texting, and, their meetings in the parks are our pictures together. And I think it's the same. I don't think they think it very differently. I just think they think that the way that we express our love is different.
I feel like something that they might not understand is we're much more open to what our partners like, and we respect it much more. I feel like that is something that I've seen that maybe some of my friends' parents, or just older people, don't understand. That how can you be okay with that? And that's again saying that it's not a non-negotiable for me. So I feel like if it's a non-negotiable for them, you definitely have to compromise at some point also, which I feel like the older people might not necessarily understand, because they come from a caring perspective that hey, you don't have to necessarily, quote unquote, if you want to frame it like that, put up with this. But I look at it from a perspective that you don't have to put up with something, but you have to respect that person, what their opinions are, what they are also going through at certain spots and parts of their lives, and write it out with them, because that is what makes a strong relationship.
Yeah, I love that. Everyone's a work in progress.
Exactly.
I'm really impressed, guys. I've learned so much today, and I think your generation is, so far ahead with your understanding. So you can see that this impact that technology had on you guys is really, really cool. And I feel for a very hopeful future because you guys are some real quality people and you're not shy to take therapy, which my generation, it was such a big taboo. But I have to tell you, I learned most of my, breakthroughs in therapy. And yeah, I think you guys have all the resources that you need. It's just sometimes probably, sorting through what's real and what's not and figuring that out. But I think you guys already have that pat down too. It's just if we all share our experiences, I think there's really so much value in that. And so I want to thank you guys again for being on the podcast today. And I hope you live your 20s to the fullest.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Evelyn, you're also killing it with this podcast. Like
Truly.
it's such a huge, learning place for all of us.
Thank
and I
you.
feel like
You're going to become the love expert very soon.
Love guru.
love guru.
The love girl.
That's funny.
But I feel like it's amazing, seeing podcasts, taking up such topics and speaking about it openly also. So I think you're killing it.
Also feeling comfortable speaking about it. Not everyone can make somebody feel so easy to talk about these
Oh,
things.
you guys.
So thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for having
Thanks
us,
for
Evelyn.
talking to us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's show. But guys, make sure to send us an email if you've got topics on your heart you'd love to hear more about. Our email is lovematters@dw.com, and all feedback is welcome too. Don't miss out on our next episode on polyamory, where I talk to two fabulous women about life in a happy throuple. Until next time, I'm Evelyn Sharma, and I think love matters.
Love matters. Love matters. Love